Let's talk about an upgrade that every Tacoma owner should do to the truck. And I'm talking about having a need to use a physical key for anything on the truck anymore. And of course, I'm talking about the tailgate right here. You need a physical key to lock and unlock the tailgate. Now, 3rd gen, 2016 and forward, you would think that you wouldn't need this anymore. Luckily, there's a bunch of different aftermarket parts to resolve this issue, including some of the best stuff from Runnin for Tacos. And this kit right here is from Runnin for Tacos, Runnin without the G, the number 4 Tacos. They do a bunch of mods and upgrades for trucks and SUVs, specializing in Tacomas like this 3rd gen, and this is their tailgate lock. Now, what's really cool about this particular one is if you're looking for one of the more upgraded models of a type of tailgate lock that'll work with your key fob, this is probably one of the better choices on the market, if not the best choice. It is truly plug and play, pretty easy to install, and it is very quiet compared to the competitors out there. Now in the kit, you're gonna have your actual mechanism actuator right there. All of your wiring. This is gonna run underneath the truck from the tailgate all the way to the passenger side. I'll walk you through that. Plug and play adapter right there, as well as a couple of brackets, a couple of screws. We'll talk about all that here. Let me show you what tools you need. Here are all the tools you're gonna need to get this job done. It's really not too bad. If you're nervous about this install, of course, as always, taking it to a dealer, but this should save you hundreds of dollars to install it yourself. Link will be down below for this tailgate lock. Going from right to left here, we have flathead screwdriver, wire cutters, needle nose pliers. You have a 10mm socket with an extension and also an adapter for the drill. You have an extension with a T30 bit. All right, you'll need that to get this cover off on the back of the tailgate. And then of course a drill will go a long ways, but you could use a hand driver as well. Now, I've done a lot of installs myself already, doing a bunch of mods to this truck. It's really not too bad to work on. I haven't had really any issues at all. So this should be a pretty easy, straightforward install. Let's get to it. These are all T30 screws right here. You need to get all of them out to remove this plate right here on the back of your tailgate. And in the future, I actually want to replace this, get rid of these ridges with a nice flat piece. There's a bunch of companies out there. I'm just trying to figure out which one to go with. So get your drill. Do note that there are 8 towards the back of the truck in a line here, and these 8 right here are larger, so make a note of those, and the rest are smaller. So when you put these back together, just know that. Once that is done, you can see this is loose now. Simply lift up and pull outward toward the center of the truck and remove. Once you're inside here, the first 2 things you need to do is remove this rod and move it to the side. So what you can do actually is pop out this plastic piece either with your fingers or with a screwdriver and go over here, and you have this pin here, which is kind of, you can probably do it with your fingernails, but honestly either a flathead or you can go and use pliers as long as you don't mess around with it too much. But you want to pop this out, and there's pieces on both sides, so push down and then move this over this down here and set aside. Next up, you'll see a small 10mm bolt right there. Take your extension. You want to remove this whole bolt. There you go, set aside. This right here is unlocked. Push it down for lock. So push it down for lock, keep it there. Next up, take your actuator, move the wires out of the way, tuck it in like so, with the smaller arm facing up towards you, and you're gonna go and put this right over this plastic nub right there. You wanna line this other piece up with a plastic nub that's right there, and then of course the hole for where your bolt goes back into that you just removed. Get that going. Tighten her down, and you kind of see how this is going to work. Unlock, lock. Now right up here in between the tailgate and the bed is this wire harness right here. You're going to want to remove this cap here and this cap here. So stick a flathead in there. Take it out like so. Kind of get it up and out just a little bit. You kind of see it has a clip right here that clips it in, so you can kind of use your fingers to pop it out. And if you rotate it around, has another clip right here. Take your flathead and simply pop it open and remove it. Do the same thing for this one. And here's a close-up if you're having trouble with that clip removal. This is all you have to do, push it down, pull it out. And the other side here has this flat piece right there to open it up. Now, it used to be when this kit first came out, you had to drill a hole through here to run the kit wiring through. But now, Runnin for Tacos gives you 2 of these to replace your clips you just removed. And you can see there's already 2 holes. One for the original wiring for the harness there, and then one for the new wiring with the kit. Next up, take the wiring from your kit. One end's gonna stay back here, and one end is going to follow on top of the original wiring harness right here. And you can leave this spool right there for now. Grab your harness clips here. Large one on the bottom, small one on top. So you want to orientate it like so. Make sure that you're clear here. It's gonna essentially go like that. That way it can go and clip in. Open it up a bit. Kind of tight down here. Pull some slack. Get the top one in there. Clamp it shut. Push it down in there gently. You don't want to break anything. And she's in. All right, so this is gonna go on top, and then you're gonna do the same thing for this harness clamp right here. Get this all untangled because we're going to be pulling it straight through like so. Now that you have that run mostly all the way through, find the blue and green on the end here, and then the blue and green inside here. I know it's pretty greasy, and you're just going to connect. Nice and tight, like so. Something else you're gonna wanna pick up are some zip ties, because you're gonna wanna zip tie this new wiring harness following the same path as this old one here, all the way around, leading up there. And then, of course, you'll need more of these underneath, leading up to the front. So I'm gonna run it on this side. These are what these clippers are for. Clip that. And I'm running it underneath this rod here, so you can unclip this out if you want to get underneath here. And then probably hit one more right there, and then do a couple more up top here. Really, you want to make sure that this new wiring harness is far out of the way of anything that can move around here. So that's why you kind of want to tuck it down and then run along this harness here. Then I'm going to put 2 more in here to help support these brackets as well. I'll tighten this one down first. Nice and tight, keeping that new harness on top. And there you go. You could probably do one more in the middle if you wanted to, but this should be fine. Now, before we go underneath the truck, we want to put this rod back together. So you're gonna go and put it back into that hole there. Spin this orange clip around, clip it in. White clip back here, goes back in like so. Here's where the wire pops out. Right there, there's that new clip in there that we just installed. Now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna zip tie this along an existing wire harness, which makes it pretty easy. Starting with this one right here, just follow along up to here, where you're going to meet up with a gray wire harness right here. So zip tie, zip tie, zip tie, then go around the tire wheel well, and we'll continue running this forward. So we are continuing following that gray wire harness, just kind of going up here, all the way up. Eventually you'll hit this heat shield here. Just go on the other side of it and continue to zip tie to it until you hit the harness to continue on. Eventually you're gonna come to a split here. All right, and zip tie it there. On the other side is gonna be this little rubber gasket that's gonna lead up into the cab. Now run your wire over near this black box here. You're looking for this rubber grommet right here. We're gonna take our screwdriver and poke a hole through it to run this wire up into the cab. Let me do that now. So we're just gonna poke a hole in there, like so, and then run our 2 wires through there. So get it so that most of the blue and green wire is up here and there. Stuff it in as far as you can. We'll go inside. First, remove your floor mats. Next, you're gonna remove this panel. Simply lift it up like so, exposing the wiring. Now this kick panel right here has a screw back here. It's going to unscrew and pop out. It's just a plastic nut covering a metal screw. And this panel here, you want to pull towards you, pop it straight out like so. Get the rest of this up. It's out of the way. Pull this straight out. Move those to the side, exposing all of your wiring now. Now underneath the mat, right near the actual passenger seat, lift it up, lift that padding up. There is your blue and green wire over there. You're gonna pull it out towards here. Once all the wire is through, you can actually go and release these clips here, like so. Just push down, pop it open. You can run the wire along here, another clip up here. See if I can get it with one hand. It's kind of hard with one hand, but you gotta pull this down and then pop it open like so. Run it in there in this channel. Make it a nice, clean, professional look to it. Now behind this kick panel, you have 3 plugs. 1, 2, 3. Top right is the one you're gonna wanna remove. All you gotta do is push this tab in. You can also do it with your finger. So push it in and pull the plug out, just like so. Now take your plug and play adapter, and you're going to move this plug out of the way. Take the first piece here, click it in like so. And of course, second piece, you guessed it. It's gonna plug in to the adapter portion. And then you got your blue and green right here, where you take your wire ends and simply plug them in. So you got your blue, got your green, ready to go. Now with everything connected up, like so, gonna clean up your wiring, nice and tight. You'll tuck it into here, and we're gonna start putting the panels back on. They just clip in, and then you can go and put that screw back on, and then run this panel back on right here, making sure that this is all attached. You can probably even run this back to this one too, just to have it all 3 in a row there. We'll start with this kick plate here, line up the screws, tuck it back in. This little screw here kind of just pushes in it. It really doesn't screw very much. Kicker plate's ready to go. You're just tucking behind this lip here. Not much else to do. It actually is gonna be held down by the bottom piece here. Now for the panel here, a lot of the push pins are already on here. So line Get back up. Try to line them before you start banging on it, making sure that it's lined up, that we don't bend any of these pins. Let's go back here. Make sure it's lined up. There you go, good as new. Now that's all fine and dandy. Took about 45 minutes or so to do this install. Let's make sure she actually works though. Amazing. That's been real convenient, especially with my Diamondback cover. A nice automatic lock for the Volt back here in the bed. Get your paneling back on. Get your screws put back in. Don't forget, big ones on the bottom. And that's a wrap on this video. If you have any questions about the install, hit them down in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more install videos like this to the Toyota Tacoma. See you guys in the next review.